Welcome to Joe Kane, Father Christmas.
Thank you very much.
And all the rest of you. Come on ahead, on in.
Right.
This is all welcome.
Here comes I, Father Christmas. I only come but once a year, and when I come with cheer, with pocketfuls of money and barnsfuls of beer. Short rim, boys rim, give us plenty of rim to ride. Show you some activity about the Christmas time. Put the young man at the head, the lack of that you never could act on the stage. You don't believe what I say, I call it out of a crumble and he'll clear the way.
Here comes I, Oliver Crumble, as you may suppose. I've conquered many a nation with my long copper nose. I made the French to tremble and the Spanish for to rue, and I bet the jolly Dutchmen on the plains of Waterloo. If you don't believe the words I say, come in, Jack Straw, and he'll clear the way.
Here comes I, Jack Straw, such a man you never saw. Through a rock, through a wheel, through an oil spinning wheel, through a buy of pepper, through a miller's pepper, through a sheep shank boom. Such a man was never known. You don't believe in the words I say, enter in Green Knight and he'll shoot through the wheel.
Here comes I, Green Knight, with my machine gun ready for the fight. My head is made of iron and my body is made of steel, and whenever there's a battle on, I'm ready for the field. If you don't believe the words I say, enter in Prince George and he'll soon clear.
Here comes I, Prince George, a singing I have him. A foot in front, a foot in spin, I don't give a downward fight again. England's right there and drum. Where's the man before you?
I know one before you, son.
Where you come from?
I'm from Turkey.
Where you come here for?
I give the
Fight
fight
your sword and draw. Hey.
Oh, George, what have you done? You've killed and slain my only son.
They charged me to fight, sir. My bright sword, I cut him down, and that's where he lies tonight.
Well, where's the doctor to be found to hear this man lie on the ground?
Here comes our old doctor, Brown, the best old doctor in the town.
You're welcome, doctor.
Thank you,
Sorry for ringing out so late. What can you do at all?
I can cure the plague within the pig without the pull here the gut, where there's 9 devils and I could knock 10 in a wee one out.
You wouldn't think it to look at you. You
I'm
could do
doing
that,
that,
doctor. What do you use at all?
Roo, hog, learn, bumbees, bacon, budget oil and truckies, treacle. Give him 9 pills of that 9 times a day, and if that doesn't cure him, then no cure for him.
Give him plenty of it. That is a good appetite.
Yeah. A wee bottle here in the West Point, a wee British contender, roken, spoken to elegance plain. Take a stuff of that dead man and rise and fight again to see what they like.
Leave it a minute, doctor.
Once I was dead, but now I'm alive. Thank the doctor for my survival. You don't believe the words I say, enter in Beelzebub and he'll clear the way.
Here comes I, Beelzebub, but we shadow a carrying a club, and me Hannah Freya Pana, think we shall a jolly wee man. If you don't believe the words I say, enter in big head and he'll soon clear the way.
Here comes I that didn't come yet. Big head and little wit. My head is big and the body is small, and I'll do my best to please you all. And if you don't believe the words that I say, enter in Bucksweep and he'll soon clear the way.
Here comes our old Bucksweep. All the money I get I keep.
Right.
But no matter how damn book, what the cost? Dig your spuds before the frost. You don't believe the word that I say, enter in devil out and he'll clear the way.
Here comes I, wee devil light, and the worst wee devil that ever was about. It's money I want and it's money I crave. You don't give me money, I sweep it all to your grave. You don't believe the words I say, then comes Fiddly Funny and he'll soon clear the way.
Here comes I, wee Fiddly Funny. I'm the man that collects the money. All
Wait a minute, do it.
Bad money won't pass. I have wee Dory under my arm and a couple of pounds in the harm. After that is your pleasure.
Right, now, we're on the music now, boys. Got the music now. Everybody stay on.
Last time.
song, somebody.
Song there.
Can you cut that a wee minute?
Me life, I live on 40 acres with me parents and me wife. And we have 3 nice wee children on the eldest one is 4. And we're all content and happy and we ask for nothing more. But our cousins up in Dublin, they won't leave us alone. On the telly and the radio you can hear these people moan. They want to tax the farmer and some of them declares that the farmers down the country are a bunch of millionaires. So it's good to be a farmer till the hens refuse to lay. And the rain that falls in summertime destroys your fields of hay. When the curse of brucellosis hits your lovely herd of cows, and a queer disease you can't pronounce makes making off your sows. With prices fluctuating and with nothing guaranteed, the farmer's got his worries when he's many miles to feed. So come all you loyal Dublin folk, the farmer is your friend. Don't criticise him further or you'll drive him round the bend. The farmer grows potatoes and he saves them from the blight. And he drives them up to Dublin, sure he's driving half the night. And his profits can be paltry when he pays for all the trips. But he's happy for the city folks who can have their fish and chips. When he gets his fill of sunshine, his grass can turn to brown, and the carrot fly gets busy on the carrots in Clondown. So it's good to be a farmer till the hens refuse to lay, and the rain that falls in summertime destroys your fields of hay. When the curse of brucellosis hits your lovely herd of cows, and a queer disease you can't pronounce makes bacon off your sows. With prices fluctuating and with nothing guaranteed, the farmer has his worries when he's many mouths to feed. So come all you loyal Dublin folk, the farmer is your friend. Don't criticise him further or you'll drive him round the bend. I've a cousin up in Dublin and he works from 9 to 5. But the poor old farmer's working every minute he's alive. If the cows require a midwife or the turkeys start to fight, she's got to don his overalls in the middle of the night. Sure Dublin can be heaven if you stroll on Stephen's Green, and there's good and bad there everywhere and there's plenty in between. So we need each other badly if we're hoping to survive. So let's learn to live together and thank God we're all alive. And it's good to be a farmer till the hens refuse to lay, and the rain that falls in summertime destroys your fields of hay. When the curse of brucellosis hits your lovely herd of cows, and a queer disease you can't pronounce makes bacon off your sows. With prices fluctuating and with nothing guaranteed, the farmer has his worries when he's many miles to feed. So come all you loyal Dublin folk, the farmer is your friend. Don't criticise him further or you'll drive him round the bend.
Now there was an Irish farmer who had a rusty mare, and he took her out to sell her at the Cairn on a fair. His son he went along with him, saying, Dad, we'll do our best, and if a buyer comes our way, a tile will request. Sure, they weren't long at the market till a buyer came around, saying, what do you want for your rusty mare, her limbs they are not sound. But I'll give you an offer which I hope you won't decline. I'll give you 11 guineas and the mare she will be mine. He paid him down the money and he took the mare away to a stable round the corner he had rented for the day. He tipped the mare all over and he trimmed her tail and mane. In less than 20 minutes she was in the fair again, with a bridle and a saddle and a rider on her back. You just thought she was a racer when going down the track. The farmer who had sold her saw her trotting through the square, not thinking for a minute that she was his rusty mare. And speaking softly to his son that a mare I'd like to buy, she's free and full of action, aye, and comely to the eye. And yelling to the rider in the saddle turning round, I'll give you 20 guineas if you give me back a pound. He viewed the mare all over, for he thought she was a swell, and paid him down the money, for he liked the mare so well. He took her home that evening, and when going up the lane, he was standing at the door with his little daughter Jane. And calling to her mother, said the mare they didn't sell. She slipped yet hardly an hour, but her walk you know quite well. Her mother came in a moment's time, she welcomed from the fair. But tell me, Sean, What made you clip the mare? You know you clipped her once before and you caught a bitter cold. How could she avoid it now, a mare so son and old? Would you hold your tongue right on, replied, and stop your foolish talk? Thanking God ye ought to be for bringing us a luck. I sold my mare for 11 guineas, she left me in the clear. This one cost me 20 and I think she's no way dear. Would you hold your tongue, Sean's wife replied, you were badly taken in. You sold your mare for 11 guineas and bought her back again. But there's no use in scolding now, my temper I'll keep cool. As many's a time I told you that you were the right old fool. Just think of a child of 7 years, if she'd have been at the fair, she would have known better than to buy her old rusty mare.
The funny one.
A joyful party it was held the other night, but there was so many at it that there wasn't room to fight. So we all sat down together and a proper feed we ate. There was anything and everything, but nothing on the plate. Well, for people there that evening, there was a mighty lot. There were some that were invited and just as many that were not. There were mothers-in-laws, brothers-in-laws, young maids and old ones too. We were packed as tight as herring in the good old Irish stew. There was Skinny-leg McGinnity and Bandy-leg McQuaid. His underlip would hold about a quart of lemonade. There was Pepperface the Masher with his moleskin cigarette, and a pitting Jew from Paisley with his whiskers in a net. So when that we had feasted till there was no more to eat, for to have a dance we greased the floor with a pound of sausage meat. There was a splendid band of music there, a fiddle and a drum. The conductor wasn't there because he wasn't asked to come. Macquarie got up to sing a verse, his throat he nearly burst. For he started with the 7th verse and ended with the 1st. 10 times he sung the chorus when we thought he had done enough. We knocked him down and blinded him with a saucer full of snuff. So we wished good health to bride and groom and wished them both good speed. And we hoped they'd have more little ones and they'd be fit to feed. So we all went home together as the sun began to rise. Well, I'll say no more about it now, for I'm tired telling lies.
We kept the man of the biggest mouse at the door.
The video's on now.
He took the blood down. That's enough.
The bully drop wouldn't want to be blocked, you know.
You know, he used to chew tobacco.
Seen him in the forge.
This boy, anyway, I forget who he was at the time, maybe he wasn't. And he went to the forge, you know, he stand at the forge anyway all day waiting to get something done, and he's no tobacco.
No.
And of course, anybody ever asked old J McElhill for a bit of tobacco, I have the last bit in my mouth.
Sure.
It's always answering, you see.
know,
Yes,
Don
yes.
Gormley
Of course,
worked
he
with
knew
Melinda.
this. You know, the boy knew this. And anyway, he suffered on all day, and we got in the end of it, he thought, anyway, he'd try him anyway.
I know.
And he used to chew away, he seen it run down around his chin.
That's it.
He says, Jimmy, would there be any chance of a wee bit of tobacco? We chew tobacco. Well, I have the last bit in my mouth. Well, he says, will you give me a lick of your chin?
Your scones not going to last long night, Joe. Your scones not going to last long night.
Great situation for you.
You know Donal Gormley worked with Mother's Pride away.
To be a non-sugar taker, great advantage.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you all got a little of
You'll mind the night the mummers come, Joe.
Well, I'm not sure isn't it delightful to have them. I'm sure I had them here before. But they didn't get no pay, I think.
Who is it?
No video. Dave, yes.
Henry, you see, and he wanted to photograph them all.
Surely.
Hold on, it's too bad you haven't.
All right. He came into this boy anyway in this nice wee house, you know, and thatched house. He says that. So the boy said, would you mind? He said, about take a few photographs. No, he says, carry on. Photographed this house anyway and all around it, and that's lovely, he says, now, very nice. He says, I would like to use your toilet. And I said, no, my toilet, he says, a bit rough. He says, 3 sheets of zinc, he said, a door and a bucket.
Aye.
You're all right. He says, round the back there.
So he goes round and he come back anyway. And he says, that's all right. He says, one complaint, he says, you've got no lock, he says, on your toilet door.
Aye.
Well, you know, he says, I'm here for 40 years and never had a bucket of shite stole yet.
No. I'm just not.
No, not the way.
The young fella that come home one time after army on leave, you see. And him and the father were sitting in the house this day, anyway, and the young fella took one of these hand grenades out of his pocket, you see. And he was looking at it, you see. And the father, he looked over and he says, what's that you've got over there, son? You know. He says, that's a bomb, Pop. Oh, God, he says, that ain't no bomb, he says. He says, when I was a kid like you, he says, in the army, he says, with no bombs like that. Oh, but he says, times has changed since that, he says. If you like, he says, I'll prove it to you, like that, you know. So he says, okay, like that, and out they went to the back of the yard anyway. And the young fella do the pin of the hand grenade, and he rode it down the yard. And there was this old dry toilet, you see, in the far corner of the yard with the usual space at the bottom of the door, you see. So on and on and on. The grenade went a little, it disappeared in onto the door. And no sooner it was out of sight than boom! Like that. And the whole place went up in bits. The fellow looked at the son and he says, you shouldn't have done that, son. He says, your grandfather was in there. And the two men were standing looking down anyway, and they seen the figure starting to move out of the middle of the rubble. And the old fella got up in there and he was black and blue and tattered and torn. And he seen the other two looking down at him and he says, I don't know a damn. He says, what happened? Must be some goddamn thing he ate, he says.
He knew nothing about it. You like?
Too warm. Too warm.
It was a heavy one.
Good. We're going to get another song, right?
At the age of 21, I've been in the prime of life. My mother often told me I should go and choose a wife. Well, to go and choose a wife, she knew little of me bother, for at the same time I was thinking about the one thing or the other, mushing a whacker rowdy down now. Fall all the daddy, mushing a whacker rowdy down now, fall all the dee. Well, I went to a wee girl I hadn't often seen. I went to a wee girl, her name was Bessie Breen. What's your errand, cried the sister, what's your errand, cried the mother. Well, to cut my story short, it's just the one thing or the other, mushing a whacker rowdy down now. Fall all the daddy, mushing a whacker rowdy down now, fall all the dee. So now we have got married and are living a happy life. I'm her loving husband and she's my darling wife. We live in peace and harmony, contented with each other, and we're getting well acquainted with the one thing and the other, mushing a whacker rowdy down now. Fall all the daddy, mushing a whacker rowdy down now, fall all the dee. Some people say that my wife is getting queer, other people say that I'm going to get an heir. Some says a sister and others says a brother, but sure I'll be well contented with the one thing or the other, mushing a whacker rowdy down now. Fall all the daddy, mushing a whacker rowdy down now, fall all the dee. It'd been on a Monday morning, just as my story runs. It'd been on a Monday morning, my wife she brought me twins. It'd been on a Monday morning, my joys I couldn't smother. I was jumping round the room, thinking of one thing or the other, mushing a whacker rowdy down now. Fall all the daddy, mushing a whacker rowdy down now, fall all the dee. Well, now my song is ended, I think I'll sing no more. For since I started singing, sure my throat got very sore. But the next one that gets married, sure I hope they'll have less bother, and that they'll get more acquainted with the one thing and the other, mushing a whacker rowdy down now. Fall all the daddy, mushing a whacker rowdy down now, fall all the dee. Mushing a whacker rowdy down now, fall all the daddy, mushing a whacker rowdy down now, fall all the dee.
Good, Michael.
Donna, you're next.
No, I'm not good at singing.
I'm hard hit.
Sing the wee nigger voice then.
No, but I'm not bad. I'm not good at
Throw it
that.
into the fire.
I'll stick of yours and lip there.
Alright.
Put in the ashes. You kill it.
Aye.
That makes a head
Come all ye young petty folk and listen to my rhyme. A story I'll tell you is about good old times, concerning your grandad and granny also, and the fashion of their days you might like for to know. Now the women wore dresses right down to their toes, and it's how that they wore them the Lord only knows. They were dressed all in black from the day they were wed, with a shawl around their shoulders to cover their head. Now the men they wore beards right down to their throats, with long narrow trousers and a swallow-tail coat. But they were the boys who could dance jigs and reels, with nails in their boots and big strong iron heels. They had no new tractors or cutting bar blades, but by the good handling outside our estate. When the cupboard was empty and they wanted oatmeal, should have battered the corn with the thing called a flail. And when they got married they had no motor cars, or hundreds of guests coming from near and far. For they jumped up on horseback for a flap they had not, and away like hell's fire bride and bridegroom did trot. There was none of these dance bands you see on the stage, Men roaring and shouting and rattling tin. But the sound of the fiddle you would hear every night as the dance sets and lances from Downhill Delight. But the times they are changing, I know it is true. Since the start of the thing that they call the brew. On the road you'll not see neither beggar nor tramp. Every man is a yard with a wheel of a stamp. And when you get married you have no need to fret. Have your wife she can cook, she'll have no regrets. For if you come in hungry you won't have to wait till it in the Scots frost you'll soon eat on your plate. Now that doesn't please you, you're tempered only. You can have chicken little or chopped ham if you choose. But don't ask for home bread or porridge just now. And I buy some bottles instead of the cow. You can furnish your house with the best of good stuff. There's no call for the dresser or anything wrong. You can have television, lovely pictures to see, and pay for it all in lazy HD. And when you go dancing, you don't have to learn steps. Only run round the hall and give some red big lip. When you go for your partner, your dance what will take. You look something in your face and begin for to say. But your arm gets old and my life is near run. So God bless the young folks, they must have their fun. But I've got more sense, and I'm sure you'll agree. There's a lot of more sense than an old boy like me. And the cat on the full right.
Meanwhile, when I go home, the boys all play, the girls are low. Cut my hair and stole my coat, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is Bella Belfast. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please we carry who is she? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for her. Raps at the doors and rings the bell, saying oh my true love, are you well? Out she comes as white as snow, rings her fingers, bells her. Albert Mooney says she doesn't get fell at the road. Meanwhile when I go home, the boys won't play, the girls are low. My hair is so my coat, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is a belle of Belfast. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please you tell me who is she?
There, it was battered and scorned, and the auctioneer thought it was scarcely worth his while to offer for sale the old violin, so he held it up with a smile. How much am I offered, good folks, said he, who'll start the bidding for me? 1 guinea, 2 guineas, only 2, and now we have 3. 3 guineas once, 3 guineas twice, going and going, but no. From the room far back, a grey-haired man stepped forward and picked up the bow. Wiping the dust off the old violin and tightening up all the strings, he played a melody as pure and sweet and as soft as an angel sings. The crowd, they all clapped, and the auctioneer, in a voice that was soft and low, said, how much am I bid for the old violin? And he held it up with the bow. 1,000 guineas, and who'll make it 2? 2,000 guineas, and now we have 3. 3,000 once, 3,000 twice. Going and gone, said he. Again the crowd clapped. And some of them cried, saying, we do not quite understand what changed the worth of the old violin. It was the touch of the master's hand. And many a man, with a life out of tune, is battered and scorned with sin. He's auctioned cheap to the thoughtless crowd, much like the old violin. A mess of pottage, a game of cards, a glass of wine, he carries on. He's going once, He's going twice. He's going and almost gone until Lee Master comes. And the foolish crowd can never quite understand the chains that is wrought when a soul has been saved by the touch of the Master's hand. That's it. What about yourself, Joe?
Oh no,
Eh?
no, I wouldn't. No, thank you very much. I'm no good at them things.
Do you sing any, Joe?
No, I don't. Oh no. Never sung anything like that. That was great.
Nope.
Aye.
I'll go for that, Mary.
Come What are you saying? Where's the guitar? Where's the guitar? You gotta get on the beat.
Go ahead now. Leave that on, that's a hard chord.
Soon.
In the house and mind the dresser.
Good stuff.
Right.
changes about Christmas now, Joe, compared to what it would have been.
No, they did
back in
this,
the
aye.
young days.
No, it's different altogether now.
Different, would there been
But there
any-
was
would there be-
mummers in them times, but they weren't as attractively dressed or as good as you.
No,
It
no.
was just only, they used to come a lock, 5 or 6 maybe, or it might be more from Ederney.
Aye,
And round in the country too.
sure.
Same characters, yeah?
Pardon?
Much the same characters as now, aye?
Oh, I suppose. And, well, went through rhymes, but they're not as good as the rhymes you has at all.
No.
They
Would
weren't
you mind the
happy.
names of the ones that was on them, Joe? And you,
Would I mind the names?
would you might not?
No, I mind. I mind Joe Turner and J Rush and somebody else coming out from Ederney. You have no set. Is there no set? There's a set behind.
Don't worry about it.
You tell you it's standing there. And then after was one time there was a lot from round about the McDonoughs and Joe McGuire and John Lunny. I don't know whether there was anyone else. There was only I think 5 or 6. They weren't no good. I heard a man saying that he was in this house killing and they went in and he said they might as well have begged the money. They give no value for it. That was the way he described it. There was no music like yous, you know, or singing or anything like that. They just went through the rhymes and collected the money there.
They said that the Dukerock mummers was good mummers when they were on the go. They called them the Dukerock ones.
Aye. Well, that would have been known.
New church.
Oh, aye, that would have been known about that time.
1950s,
Oh, aye.
Oh,
Oh, but
the
that's
skinny
it.
mummers went out one season, you see, and then the Lucifer ones the next. Oh, the William John Drawing and them and all. Jerry Welsh that had them out in the tractor and trailer around the country.
Yeah.
Eamon McMenamin there.
I suppose they used to sort of follow the mummers round people too.
Oh, that's
One house to
that
another.
That's it if they were good there. Mostly in the towns, just there's handy places through the country they used to do too.
Aye.
They'd never come to a backward place like this, you know, in them days. They hadn't as good a way of travelling or anything.
Good horn, big horns, mummers horn.
Oh, aye,
Had
you
a
wouldn't
nice
have
frost,
mind that.
clear frosty night there was nice.
Aye,
Yeah,
aye.
you could hear that horn for
Aye.
at least 10 miles.
You would,
On a nice
no,
frosty
aye.
night. You
That
know.
would have been monkey ones or the ones that was around with them Drumkeeran or that direction.
Surely.
I mind it hearing it the way back, you know, when I was a long time ago. It was the time they were lifting the money for the chapel, as you were saying.
Would there have been any shanty in your time, Joe?
No, there wouldn't have been shanty. The only thing I minded about shanty was at the school. Mrs. Addie McGuire, God rest her, she used to be good to the children. She took the 2 infant classes in the first class. And she used to bring sweets and presents at special occasions. And this time she made up for presents for Santa to come. And he was dressed up. And he come through the wee gate at the side of the chapel and along the yard from the well. There's the end down now. And into the school. Well, there was one of the run and give the big boy the toys a shake, but the master chastised him. They went on ahead into the school and they distributed the toys round to the small children, you know. And that was, well, that would have been about now. This is almost 1923 or 24.
They ended up then too with a mummer's dance, usually in a barn loft.
Aye, well they used
somewhere,
to
some locality.
It would be sometimes Colwell's barn loft. And I don't find so much about the mummers dance, isn't it funny? But and I don't know whether Kate Monaghan's used to be another place for dances
namely
too.
place too.
Aye.
Aye.
Then was the
Eddie Gormley's, I mean Bob.
Was it? Aye. And then there was Monaghan's Mill, as they called it. That was,
That's
and
where
then,
the hall is now.
then it, that's where the hall is, well, that was,
There's another night.
yes, no, that.
That's a nice feature for the white moustache.
You put one black cat in, John, they come another night.
That's not a black cat.
And what about toys at Christmas, Joe? Or did you get anything from
Well,
Santa?
there wasn't much toys. I suppose that toy that could you get it, do you think, under the blanket? Some of these ones, did you see the nothing at it?
I've seen it.
Oh, did you?
Well, I don't know. I've seen some of it.
Maybe these young fellas didn't see it. I don't know whether you could get it, Bart, and behind that. It's up on the second shelf there. Or it should be there anyway.
Was that a Santa toy, was it?
Well, they made them at home, and I suppose they would have been made for Christmas now. Made quizzes and toys. There was no money for buying toys way back in them times. And that's why the man is. He's going around the schools now. And it was just on the way out only for this old boy. What's this they call him? Oh boy, she
That's
didn't.
there, Joe.
Or did I show him how to work it?
Oh, aye. You know how to work it, McKeever, Joe?
That's some I use.
I've never seen it.
You know,
That's wasn't the end of it.
that's a nut mill.
That's what?
Oh, that's
call
a
it
nut
nut
mill. Oh, that is made same for Pat Fairn. He's round the schools
Showing my
teaching the children how to make that now. Oh, could you believe it?
What is it for, Joe, or what way
A
is it?
toy.
Oh,
A toy that was long ago. Where do you see now? What about you, John? James Q. What's have to be working right now, yeah.
They need to be oiled.
Oh, my shoulder. The pain here, you may take it, the pain in the pain in the shoulder. Hold the nut.
You had it on the top.
I have a pain in my shoulder.
Oh, do you hold it on the top?
Hold the nut.
Hold the nut. Hold the nut. Pull Midland quick. Aye, well, you hardly pulled hard. No. Wee bit
Oh, you
hard.
lost that thing if you
No, you're right now. Pull on. Pull Midland quicker.
Don't break it.
Right.
Did you ever see it?
Not one,
Wait. Wait now, I'll show you. There now, Stanley, and he'll show you how to work.
Oh, you have never seen that
You
before.
didn't see
I've
it.
never seen that before.
You never seen it. Well, why
not
that started it, you didn't see it.
And that would be a big toy.
Well, the man's going round the schools now teaching. Well, of course, he has other toys. Oh, my shoulder, the pain in it. I'm not able. See a young fella try that.
Isn't that a great toy, boy?
Good, no bad.
Look, you could put in hours of that and have fun.
Where does the cord go?
You know,
when it
cord
goes
balls at
You never
at
seen
Wayne's
it
round the stick,
before?
you see?
never did.
Aye.
Wayne's round the next time we're
Yeah.
back in again.
Aye, surely.
Yes, what?
The speed of the
Well,
weight of the spot, they can play away on.
Aye, that's the thing. Eh?
Made a mistake, just a bit of
A
a
bit easier, you got many a toy, but you never seen it like that.
Nothing for sure.
Oh, I learned that one, I got something. It was him give it to me.
Eh?
That's like
that's
something
when
off a
that's,
mail bag.
That's from out of a mail boy,
I was
surely.
thinking that,
Aye.
surely.
Because that's good strong thread.
What else would you got at Christmas time, Joe?
The whiz, and
Well, was that a tin lid?
the wee
The wood?
crawler.
Well,
Well, no, it's made with leather. Or if you made the right one with leather on the shoulder, Bart, you may
Okay.
excuse me. You hung up your stocking on that there, any of them as well.
Alright.
And often when you'd rise in the morning, you'd get a lock of sugar rolled up on the paper and maybe a penny or two, and that would be all Shanty would come down the chimney. You had to be content with it. An odd time there might be a hanky and it's a small wee hanky or something, but there was very little money to buy toys, do you see, and that's the reason that them things are on that. That's why it
Well, you know, that's as good as
revise
Plenty
it.
of the expensive toys. Like
Eh?
That's it.
Well, that's the thing.
There's a whole lot
Hand-
powerful and
handcraft.
interested in that now. Aye.
That's handcraft on it.
Aye, but in the beginning it would be well thought out.
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
that's the thing, surely.
It was James McDonough, God rest him, showed me how to make it when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Aye.
And I used to make it one time and another over the years, and then there were so many toys these other children was never interested in it.
Alright. I mean, just making the spinning jenny out of the spools.
Aye.
Putting a wee peg
We
in them.
used to do the same.
Aye. No, they used to...
Spool made 2 of them.
Aye, that's right.
Well, the way that pull harder.
It would get a wee hum up in it.
When now you haven't. Wind it up again. Hold the string tighter when you're winding. There was one time we'll have to get you one of them. I'm not able to make it now. But the
Well, you wouldn't sell the bit for that, Joe.
The pains in my shoulders, no, the pains away.
Getting away.
There's no pain. No, I made it for more people when I was. With the pains in my shoulders now, I'm not going to stoop down. After ridden iron in the fire and bore the nuts, you know.
And there's supposed to be a handy way of boring it now.
Oh, I suppose then
If you went to board, you would have been...
did that for that way, it's but a style.
Isn't it a powerful toy?
It would amuse you, John.
Aye. Yeah.
James.
It'll be. Yeah.
James too.
You could pull on it to your arm if you're tired.
The exercise.
Would you better do as you go along?
Oh, do they?
Oh, you'd improve on it.
You want surely?
You'd be.
They say practice makes perfect.
Oh no.
Well, you can tell to keep them going.
Well, now we're supposed to way back in them long ago times it was a great pension you go for.
Well, of course, any toy was better than own.
Aye.
Well, that's the thing, surely.
Anything's better than nothing.
That would have been better than the hoop of a bucket.
Aye, bring the hoop of a bucket.
Bought that now, you know, something like
That's right.
that. Pay some money.
Hey, give him a try on it.
I heard a woman talking on the radio the other day there about when she was young and the doll and the doll's pram that she had was
Man, you're great at it.
you got a box that there was something in, you know, a box, the lid on a shoe box.
Aye.
And they took the lid of the box and set it on his end. They got there down into the box, and that was the doll's pram. Then they folded the towel and set the towel into it, and that was the doll. And then you put a string on the box and pulled the doll and the pram after you round through the house.
Surely.
That was the doll and the doll's pram.
Aye.
Very simple mechanism.
Oh, that's the thing.
I wonder is this material here fireproof? It's getting very hot.
Quite warm there.
Oh,
I think the cat was sticking a bit longer down it.
Thinking you wouldn't stand
You
there.
didn't make the tea for them, Donny.
Oh, I should have no call for tea.
Oh, no way.
You can't.
Danny's away, there's no
Oh,
big
that's
issue.
modern.
This is a song of Charlie Kearney's. One of the many that he made, I suppose. It's about the hens and cages. Now the things they have gone to a terrible pitch, since they used to be searching for eggs in the ditch. Now the farmers have stopped keeping hens in the yard, but instead they're in cages to make them lay hard, and they cackle there night, noon and morning. Now I happened to meet an old farmer one day. He was showing me his hens and the way they could lay, how the meal it went in and the eggs tumbled out, but the din was so loud that we both had a shout. They were cackling like blazes that morning. The old hen next the door, she shook her pale head. With a wee squinted tail to her neighbour she said, I hear up in the east the hens are run wild, I and plenty of roosters to keep them in style, and they crow very loud every morning. Now the neighbour replied, isn't that a queer trade? For I ne'er seen a cock since the day I was laid. But if from the south cage I might make my escape, I would dodge up the road just to see what he's like, and I mightn't come back till the morning. Away down by the meadow there's another owl blade. You could tell by her comb that a fine lot she'd laid. She says you don't know a thing yous is talking about. Devil a foot that could walk if yous did let them out. They would be off with the fox before morning. Ah, sure, where is the use in us laying away? And the hen eggs getting chipper and chipper each day. We're killing ourselves and the farmers we rob, and it's all for the big bucks to keep them in jobs, for they're calling here night, noon and morning. Now they don't let us see the good light that God sends, for they say that the daylight is bad for the hens. With electric light, sure the blind is all day, and they don't seem to mind that as long as we lay, and they get their fried egg every morning. Now our grandmothers had a very nice time, for they scraped through the clabber, the clay and the lime, and when they took a notion they would sit down and clock, and bring out wee birds just to please that old cock, and they would sit there all night, noon and morning. Now they said it was cruel to lamp rabbits at night. Some men have been jailed just for making cocks fight. But what does the law say for poor laying hens that must sit up in cages till their very bones bends, so that we get our fried egg every morning? Wise men, they have said that the end is in sight, and that could be so if the boy starts to fight, for the hens in their cages will soon cease to lay. If the Arabs don't let the oil get away, there'll be hunger and hardship some morning. Now I left this big farmer and I headed up home. I could see for myself the way things they were going. Then the hens gathered round me in hunger and rage. Christ, says I, yous is lucky that's not in a cage, although yous has robbed me this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, we had that song before, Joe.
I did hear it. Oh, I did hear it myself.
Oh, I sing it up at the hall, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Reminiscing.
What about the yarn about the boy Patrick jumping in the gas pipe?
Oh, that was a good one too.
Eh?
That was a good one too.
Oh, the story of it. And this man was going round anyway, you see, and he was salesman for gas, lights and cookers and that. So he come to this house anyway, and the man was just up when he was getting the fire lit, and he was having a bit of difficulty in getting it lit anyway, so he told him, he says, hold on, he says, I have the answer to all your problems, he says. Get in the gas, he says, and light and cooking and everything, you know, but follow the chain and so on like that. So anyway, he convinced him anyway to get it installed anyway, and the engineer came out and got it all piped up and all going, and he was feeling good about it, you know, because it was very handy right enough when he was living his loan and coming in there at night. So this particular evening anyway that he had been at the mart, and it was like about this time of the year, and the short days anyway, you see, and so when he went home anyway and went into the house anyway, and remembered anyway to pull the short chain and apply the light to the end, and then he discovered then that he had no matches or light or anything on him, you know, and oh God, he says, gee, if I land down here I'll have a match, you know, like that. So he just turned and walked out down the lane to the house, farther down anyway, and gee, he was out cutting a lock of sticks at the side of the house anyway, and he says to him, he says, would you have a match there? He says, oh, aye, he says, hold on a minute here. He put his hand in his pocket. Yeah, he says, if Hugh in the box there, he says, take the bus to you like that. So that was all very good. Anyway, back up we went to the house and onto the gas light just, and he struck the match. Boom! Like that. And the whole place was dark, bleeded, but God, gee, he had the explosion anyway, and he didn't know what happened in the start anyway, but he discovered that it must have been the gas explosion. So he run up anyway, and he got your man anyway, lying in the debris, and he pulled him out anyway, and there was doctor sent for him, the doctor got the ambulance for him, got him into hospital anyway in Omagh, all to that, and he was got some burns, and he was got bandaged up and all the rest of it, and but on the recovery of it anyway, and the third day was in, and the sister was round and talking to the patients and asked him, he says, did you move? And he says, what do you mean move? He had difficulty in speaking, for he was all bandaged up round his face, you know. She says, your balls. He says, balls, cups, mums. He says, the whole damn lot, he says, went out through the roof.
Big slugs. End of story.
End of story. Yeah.
Aye. I suppose so, if we went home, you go to your bed.
No, Joe doesn't go to bed. He's just welcome to stay as long as he wishes.
Well, very good.
And if you didn't do anything with the kettle and that and boiling the squid. Oh, yeah, I don't tell. Eh? What would I have just not the wee song?
Now I'm an old farmer, sure I'm not fond of work, and I never have been since the day I was born. Although I've never been lazy with spade, shovel or fork, now I'm not much the better for all me hard work. I live up in Dewey, and I should be well off, and still let me fill and drink and not have. I can lie in the morning till it's 9:30 or 10. I give 2 or 3 cows a game cock and a hen. Now when I take a dander away down to the fields, with my pipe well lit up and 4 dogs at me heels, though I haven't a bob in me pocket to spare, I'm as happy and content as an old millionaire. Now sometimes the boys come in for a spree, sometimes they get drunk and more times it is me. Now one plays the fiddle and mummy does sing, till the plates on the dresser does rattle and ring. But there's one thing annoys me, it may not be right, it's this damnable noise that they've started at night. Sure it comes from like Freshy at high hills so steep, and the sound of these engines I can hear in me sleep. Now they start when the very first star it is shown, and they rattle and bang like the gun of a tone. The old crows in their nests can't get clocking at night with the sound of these engines that makes electric light. Now God made the darkness all noises to cease, so that nature and mankind could slumber in peace. But the sound of these engines you hear all about was made by the devil, I have got no doubt. In the days that are past, boys and girls, they did stray around these country roads at the close of the day. And many's a love tale, I'm sure it was told, for there wasn't a sound but the song of a bird. But now when a boy meets a girl on the road, he can tell her no shakers that he doesn't want knowed. For the sound of these engines you hear all about, when he bids her good night, sure he just has to shout. That's the state of our country, you may be surprised. We're in the small farmer, we're all subsidised. You may boast of machinery, your stock and your crop, but the boys up in Stormont can make us all hop. Now we're all growing grass in a very large scale, while the country is robbed by fiddle and mill. Now the men who is boasting the best of good land, to the buying this fudge with a stone from the van. So now from a fool just take this advice, don't be too easy led by officials so nice. When you join the small farmer, put your name on the roll, the next place you might sign could be on the road. Where it'll all end, I would like for to know. There's no work for the people, sure I know that is so. Now the labouring man sure goes into the pub, while the old farmer sits smiling and waits on the sub.
Yeah.
Where's the other one, Mickey? That's the one.
Real time, right?
No, we'll do that.
Eh?
We'll do that.
Ah, would we come up?
Right, John, away you go.
If I hear so do.
What's up? Swinging? No, it doesn't. We don't. Alright. Go! Hey, alright.
Very still, man.
Maybe it's clean.
Now you swing this way.
Oh, you did. Oh, go ahead.
Well done.
Good job, Bart.
Now we're the rocks right up.
The meeting up.
Now, that's it.
March.
Oh, that's March time.
Oh, it's not be hard to dance with an idiot on your left this time. You don't be too bad.
You're not going to get right as
One partner first. Hup.
No! First it out.
What do we have in Peggy Dugan?
Hey, David, pull the pen on me, stop.
Now, boys, head gear on there and gather up your belongings.
Years at the end of it.
Well, we need to put all on it.
Oh, no, no, I should have what's the point.
Go, that's it.
Oh, yeah, I'm playing the one now.
Okay, more.
Just one, the one.
I'm going to play this time. Better play a funky because my hand's getting...
Well, you won't play, won't you?
Well, no, he just went, oh, well, he's going to dance it or he's going to...
No, he's doing fine. Good enough, maybe we can
can't dance.
And Joe Kane.
History, that.
Well,
Bart.
well, good night, Joe. and
Happy
thanks.
Christmas.
And the same to you. And a happy new year. Good night till and happy Christmas
Hey, Joe.
to you.
All the best.
Good night,
Thanks
Daddy,
very much.
and a happy Christmas.
Same to you now. There's my coat here.
Aye.
Right.
And,
Good night, Joe.
Good night, Ellen, and a
Christmas.
happy
Thanks
Christmas
very much.
to you too. And thanks for your entertainment.
Well, good night, Joe.
Good night, Father.
And a happy
and
Christmas to you.
thanks the same to you now.
All the best.
And,
Right, Joe.
well, a happy Christmas to you
All right.
too.
Same to you.
Thanks,
Right, all the
thanks
best.
for your entertainment
Okay.
now.
Right,
That was
bye.
good. Bye now.
Get James Kieran.
And Joe,
Well,
good night. Happy Christmas to
good
you.
night, Bart. Are you going away with
I'm
them?
going away with him this time, Joe.
Oh, are you?
One more. Hold on, Joe. There's another fella coming in here.
Oh, is there? Oh, dear. Oh,
Bring that for it.